Watching Metallicomania, and I'm back with another video. This time, as you can see the title, it is an Exodus ranking. I've been wanting to rank Exodus for the longest time. I was waiting for their new album to come out, and well, it did. And yeah, this list is gonna piss some people off. Um, I'm a newer fan of Exodus, so there's a lot of newer albums that are pretty high on the list, and some older albums that are kind of low on the list. Um, they got 8 albums with perfect scores for me. I like 8 of them perfectly all the way through. There's some that are kind of iffy for me. There's one that I just don't ever listen to, and I gave a 6.1. They have 11 albums. The one that's 6.1 is number 11, Force of Habit. Yeah, this was just a complete departure from thrash, which is what Exodus is known for and what I expect when I listen to an Exodus album. I thought that Force of Habit was kind of boring. It's really long. A lot of their newer stuff is very long, but the thing is, the newer stuff at least doesn't drag on and on and on. And Force of Habit does. I consider Force of Habit to be like part of that where thrash metal in the 90s went and tried to do what Pantera was doing and what other bands were doing with groove, and it just wasn't working. And it just killed thrash for a while. And this was an album that was like that, and they didn't release an album till Tempo of the Damned. I would have liked if they released one with Bailoff, but they didn't. They released Bonded by Blood, but like when they got Bailoff back in the band, I wish they actually recorded an album with him. Number 10 is a recent album at 9.4 out of 10. That is Blood In, Blood Out. This is the first one with Zetro back in the band after he left after Tempo of the Damned and Rob Dukes joined. I definitely this album just the same as Force of Habit somewhat, but not as like bad, and it's not a complete departure from what they were doing, and it's just continuing on the thrash that they were doing before. And there's really not a whole lot to say. A lot of the tracks blend together. A lot of the tracks are just decent and not completely. BTK and Numb, I just don't. Those are skip tracks every time they come up. I skip them. There's 2 skips on this album for me. I definitely feel like this album is kind of boring almost. It's just common thrash. It's just not my favorite. It's not that good in my opinion. And here's where I really piss some people off. Number 9 is one that I actually have a CD copy of. I can actually close Spotify now. Pleasures of the Flesh. Yeah. Another album that has some skippable songs like Till Death Do Us Part and Pleasures of the Flesh. I'm really not a fan of the title track. Yeah. This one was the one right after Bonded by Blood, and it just wasn't as good. It got a 9.5, which is a little bit better, but it's not boring. It's just that those 2 songs are just really not that good and are skippable tracks on here. There's some really good ones on here like Deranged, Parasite, Brain Dead. There's some good ones on here, but it just doesn't feel as good as Bonded by Blood or as good as the ones that came after it. Number 8 is the first Rob Dukes album to appear on here, and the first Perfect Score album, Exhibit A, The Atrocity Exhibition, Exhibit A. I know a lot of people consider this to be the one of the better ones. Songs like Riot Act, Funeral Hymn, Children of the Worthless God, those are like some good songs on here. As It Was, As It Soon Shall Be. It just doesn't feel as good as some of the other albums like Exhibit B and Temple of the Damned doesn't feel as good, so that's why it's got to be this low, is because it's, for any other band, if they release this album, it would be their best album. But I'm an absolute huge fan of Exodus. I've liked Exodus for years, and this was like one of the ones I really never listened to and just got into now. So yeah, it doesn't really have a whole lot of, it doesn't have a whole lot of special meaning to me, so it doesn't get really high on the list, but it's still a fun listen. Number 7, here's where you guys click off the video because, well, this is a very controversial place to put this album. And, well, yeah, Haunted by Blood. At number 7, I think it's an absolute classic. And everything up above this album and everything up above it are just absolutely fucking amazing albums. And it's like top tier albums. Songs like Bonded by Blood, Exodus, the title track, and then there were None, No Lessons in Violence, Metal Command, Piranha, No Love, Deliver Us to Evil, Strike of the Beast. Just absolutely amazing stuff. The only album they did with Paul Bailoff on vocals, and his vocal performance is absolutely amazing on this album. The guitars don't really have that class. My like favorite stuff about Exodus is like Gary Holt's guitar tone, and like this album just doesn't have that like oomph behind the guitar tone. It just sounds like what other thrash bands were doing at the time with the guitars, and that's what's kind of holds it back in my opinion. The next album on the list, which is usually people's absolute least favorite album, Impact Is Imminent, at number 6. A lot of people despise this album, and I don't get why. I think there's a lot of great riffs on here, like Impact Is Imminent, AWOL, just Lunatic Parade, Within the Walls of Chaos, Objection Overruled, Only Death Decides, Heads They Win, Tails You Lose, absolutely amazing song. Changing of the Guard, fucking Changing of the Guard. Thrash Under Pressure. Yeah, this was the last like really good classic Exodus album that they did with the like before they did Force of Habit. A lot of people consider this the worst album, and I don't get why. I think this album is really fucking good, and you guys should go re-listen to it. I know the production's dodgy, but that's the thing with the album, is the production's dodgy and the guitar tone is absolutely fucking insane on this album. I think this is when they started doing that like really heavy guitar tone, and they like toned it down for a Force of Habit, which, yeah, if they continued on with that guitar tone, holy shit. Next one, Tempo of the Damned. Yeah, Tempo of the Damned. This one starts off with Star Spangled Banner, and it isn't actually the national anthem. It's like it's an actual whole song about just craziness. It's absolutely nuts. War Is My Shepherd, Blacklist, the absolute classic Blacklist. Shroud of Urine, fucking amazing song. Forward March, Culling the Herd, the absolutely insanity song, Culling the Herd. Sealed with a Fist, Throwing Down. Throwing Down's probably my least favorite on this album, but it's still a really good song. Impaler and Tempo of the Damned. It's the return of albums from Exodus. Return of original material from Exodus, because they did do that other re-recording of Bonded by Blood. I didn't put that album on this list because it's not new. It's not a new. Those songs are on other albums. On another album, Bonded by Blood, the original. I just wanted to include the original. So yeah, this top 5 too. So I definitely think that it's a good return album. And here's another one that kind of will piss some people off here, but this is my list, and I will put albums wherever I want to put them. Whatever albums I like in the order that I like them in. Number 4, Fabulous Disaster. This used to be my favorite until I re-listened to all the Exodus albums together, like from first to last. That's what I recently did. That's how I do all these ranking videos. So yeah, Last Act of Defiance, Fabulous Disaster, Toxic Waltz, Lowrider, The War Cover, of course, Cajun Hell. Cajun Hell is absolutely amazing. Like Father, Like Son, Corruption, Verbal Razors. Verbal Razors is my favorite. Let's just say that. Verbal Razors is my favorite song on this album. Open Season. It's the album that got me into Exodus. This is the album that I first listened to by Exodus back in high school. I think this is where they started the guitar tone, not Impact Is Imminent. This album has an amazing guitar tone, and the vocals are fantastic on it. Everything is just top notch. Number 3, I'm gonna keep going. Shovel-Headed Killing Machine. Yeah, the first one with Rob Dukes. I like every song on here. There's not a bad song on here. I'm going to get the track listing up, but more convenient track listing. Songs like Raise, fucking Raise, man. Raise is a great starting song for an album. Death Amphetamine, I've loved that song forever. This album I've listened to a lot in the past, and I really didn't expect it to get this high. Karma's Messenger, Shudder to Think, I Am Abomination, Altered Boy, another great song, pretty messed up lyrics. Going, Going, Gone, Now Thy Death Day Come, 44 Magnum Opus, fucking awesome song, and Shovel-Headed Kill Machine. Some long, long ass songs, and I fucking love the long ass songs on this album. Yeah, some of the best songs of Exodus, 44 Magnum Opus, for example. One of my favorite Exodus songs ever. The guitar tone is fantastic. This is like continuation of the Tempo of the Damned slash type of guitar tone with Gary Holt's craziness on guitar. So yeah. Move on to number 2, and these two are kind of controversial for having this high, and yeah, Exhibition B. Another one with Rob Dukes. The last one with Rob Dukes. The Ballad of Leonard and Charles. It says ballad, but there's a lot of fucking heavy parts to it, and there's hardly any like actual acoustic stuff to it. Clean singing. There's no clean singing to it. Beyond the Pale, Hammer and Life, absolutely amazing song. Classist Mist, A Hate Primer. Oh my god, this song is fucking amazing. The track number 4. Listen to this track. You'll get in love with this album immediately as soon as you hear that one. Downfall, March of the Sycophants, Nanking, which is about the Nanking Massacre. Dark as fuck song, dark as fuck subject matter, but it's fucking thrash metal. It's fucking thrash metal, and thrash metal is not gonna have any give on what it's gonna entail and what they're gonna like actually sing about and create songs about. That's what I like about thrash metal, is you can get some really disgusting tracks and controversial subject matter. Burn Hollywood Burn, another fantastic song as well. Democide, The Sun Is My Destroyer. A Perpetual State of Indifference and Good Riddance. Holy shit, this album is fantastic, and it would be my favorite if it wasn't for their new album. And well, yeah, I've seen a lot of people put their new album at the bottom. I think it's their fucking best album. By far, their best album. I've listened to it over 21 times. Recently, I've gone it on fucking repeat. Persona Non Grata, REMF, I think it is. Slipping into Madness. Slipping into fucking Madness is an absolute banger. Elitist is a fucking banger. Prescribing Horror, absolutely amazing song there. Um, the Beatings Will Continue Until Morale Improves, kind of like a punky style song that's just 2 minutes of just brain melting uh, riffs. I've done a full review of this album on on the channel in another video. So if you actually want me to go into detail and talk about this one, The Years of Death and Dying, Clickbait, my favorite one on here. Coast, the instrumental, lead into Lunatic Liar Lord, The Fires of Division, and Anti-Seed. Yeah, their best album by far. With how much of a letdown Blood In, Blood Out was. And with it being like an 8 years since it's released, I was like, okay, this album might be pretty good. Because I've seen bands do that, like Possessed did with their 2019 album that they haven't released since 1986, and it was fantastic. The same story here. I definitely think Persona Non Grata is their best album by far. Um, yeah, a lot of people are going to be pretty mad about that, but that's my opinion. I think Persona Non Grata is their absolute best album that they've ever done. Um, leave your list in the comments, and do not leave my list in the comments. Please do not do that. I will have to ban you. I'll have to block you from my channel. I don't want to do that because it's kind of spoiling it for everybody else that wants to watch the video and not know until the end. So yeah, hope you guys liked it. Follow my TikTok, follow my Instagram. I hardly ever post on Instagram, so just keep that in mind. That don't expect me to post like every week. I hardly post. I haven't posted since October on there. And before that, it was like the year before, so I really never post on there. I just mostly just like things and comment or talk to people on DMs and stuff. And that's another thing that you guys can do is DM me on Instagram if you want to have any like video ideas for me or anything. Yeah, hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be an album review. So yeah, take care.